All right, this is stage 4. There are 2 barricades, one up on the hill, one down, one over here on my left. Shooter will start behind the rightmost uphill barricade. Shotgun fully loaded, pistol loaded if desired, and holstered. Shooter may use buck or birdshot or pistol, no slugs. At buzzer, shooter will neutralize 1 single pepper popper from the hole in the barricade. Shooter will then move to the other barricade and neutralize a single popper from that barricade. Shooter will then return to the original barricade and neutralize another pepper popper, running back and forth until all of the poppers on both sides have been neutralized. If you happen to hit something and knock over 2 plates at once, you still must run over there as though there was a target standing and shoot where it was. That keeps the iteration moving. Shooter may transition to their pistol only when their shotgun has run dry, or they may just reload their shotgun at their discretion. You know,
all right, if you're finished.
Stand by. $84.50. Oh. All right, so we just completed stage 4, which is one of our kind of typical 2-gun stages. It's a suicide sprint, back and forth, a lot of running with 2 barricades. So it's a lot of movement, but then single shot hits. Yep, or that's the goal.
Yeah.
So how'd it go for you?
Pretty well. I used birdshot on the close targets and buckshot on the long targets. Honestly, mostly because I didn't have a ton of buckshot and I wanted to preserve it a bit. What I found was, for whatever reason, the brand of, I think it's Rio birdshot, old Rio birdshot, occasionally stuck and didn't fully eject. And you noticed in a couple of those shots, I'm messing with the thing trying to get the shell out. That cost me some time. Other than that, it ran really well. That gun has a safety that automatically engages every time you operate the action. But I got pretty slick at disengaging that.
It's interesting to note that one of the things that differentiates this match again from other 3-gun type shotgun stages is that you really need to understand your gun and your patterns here.
Yeah.
We saw people trying to run this stage only with birdshot, and the long distance targets, unless they had a full choke or a poly choke that could set to full, they couldn't knock it over.
There was one guy with a Saiga who dumped about 5 rounds into it, hit every single one, bam, 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 and it just didn't
with
move.
birdshot. So this is where you need to know your gun,
Right.
because if you're using buck or switch to buck, you could knock it over. Or at that point, you needed to transition to your pistol, something that would have more energy on the target.
So I think everyone shooting today is a little accustomed to competition, and nobody saved that long target for last, ditched their shotgun when it was empty, and shot the long one with pistol.
Well, I think what you're seeing here is the shotgun is its own firearm with its own methods and discipline. You have to understand the gun, you have to understand the ammunition you're using, and you have to know the patterns that it has at range.
Right.
And if you don't know those things, this environment here is designed to show you real quick where those deficiencies lie.
Right.
So my Saiga, everything was fine. I had no malfunctions on this one. I had one miss. I had to reload. I did it on the move. I don't think I could have been any faster.
Not a lot.
I was cautious because we had a lot of loose gravel on the ground and I didn't want to eat it. But other than that, no problemos.
Yeah, it was a fun stage.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'll tell you what, I really like that martini.
No, that thing's nice.
It is the worst, just about the worst possible option for a practical tactical shotgun, but it's really fun to use.
The only thing I would say about that is that when you're trying to single feed that thing, I understand why they did that and I understand the mechanism, but the problem is that I believe you're losing some level of situational awareness in the process.
Yes. With more practice, I might be able to do that without looking at it.
Perhaps, but one could argue that, you know, even though you had a couple extraction problems, that even though, technically that gun and mine, even though mine's a semi-automatic Saiga, the stage times here should be similar.
They should be.
And there was a bigger discrepancy there, and I think part of it was the extraction, part of it's the attention span you have to put into getting around in the chamber while moving.
Right. I was running slower because I was having to find a round, pull it out, load it in the gun all the way, and there's a little trick with that thing. You have to thumb it all the way into the chamber, because if you leave it out a couple millimeters, it hangs up when you try and close the action. That action doesn't cam it in all that effectively unless it's already all the way shut.
Yeah, cool.
So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the this series of two-gun individual stage videos. Let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll decide if we're going to continue doing this for future matches or if we're going to go back to doing it as one complete long video.
Yeah, we thought this was more interesting because by breaking it up into 4 segments for our 4 stages, we could give you more discussion about what the stage is and what its goals are. When you watch the two-gun videos before, it's all one congruent thing. And you don't necessarily know that some of these stages are designed with a specific purpose.
Yeah, most of them.
That's one of the things we wanted to bring to you with this. And also, we thought maybe it'd be more fun because instead of seeing one video on Wednesday, you get to see a bunch of videos throughout the week.
Yeah.
So anyways, thank you for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, please consider supporting us on Patreon. It actually really does help. Buying a bunch of buckshot for stuff like this, believe it or not, is expensive. If you can't, that's totally cool. Please just subscribe to the channel and share with your friends.